Here is Robert in Coronado, California. Great to have you on the EIB network. Hi.
Hi, thank you, Rush. Conservatives like myself should share in the responsibility for what's gone on in the liberal universities and colleges across the country. And very briefly, I'll tell you why. We're very successful, many of us. We graduated many, many years ago, 30-some years ago, from these institutions, and we dutifully send money to them every year, with some student calling us up and telling us how much they appreciate our help. And we, when you got into medical school so many years ago, and we send them the money, and incrementally, these universities have become something totally different from what we attended. Yet we send them money as if we're sending money to the same institution it was 35 years ago, and it's not.
I get your point. I think it still was pretty bad 35 years ago, but your point still is, I didn't graduate from one, but you did, so we'll talk about you. You got out of the place, you survived, you became what you became. Let's not use you, because I don't want to put you on. Your point is that people who have known what these universities are for years continue to send money, continue to send their kids while condemning the product. It's a bunch of stuff teaching liberalism. They're indoctrinating kids with a bunch of leftist propaganda, but we're sending our kids to them, and we're paying the freight, and we're being boosters. We're donating maybe to the athletic department or what have you. That's your point, right?
That is the point. And Rush, I get the newsletters, quarterly newsletters, and I incrementally would notice more social justice stuff creeping in, gender studies, and so forth. And, it's not the same place.
Well, what do you think? Your kids are not going to be affected by it when you still send them there? Not you specifically, but in general. You think people think...
Well, no. I'm just saying, why should I fund it? It's like my kids are going to school now at a different place, and believe me, they tell me the stuff that instructors tell them about, if somebody was living in a house and couldn't afford to pay it, wouldn't it be better from a social standpoint if they were allowed to continue to live in their house?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was from the housing. That was famous for the housing crisis. Yeah, the bank should the bank screwed them in the first place, right?
Yeah, and so I don't think the institution's necessarily going to change, but why should we fund it?
Not only that, they have. Do you know what the Harvard endowment? Nobody ought to be giving Harvard a dime. Their endowment is in the double-figure billions. But yet, some erstwhile tycoon will give them money to put his name on the next building they build. Anyway, Robert, I appreciate the call. We got to take another time out, folks. Fastest 3 hours in media here. Be right back.